You're watching Weekend at Gabe's and I'm Weekend Gabe. This latest episode was brought to you by the good folks over at the Ghetto Flower. Use our code W at G for an exclusive 15% discount when visiting their site. Tell them I sent you. Now enjoy the show. All right, so joining us now from LA, but he has roots here in Chicago as well as in Lincoln, Nebraska. It is a pleasure to introduce Charlie Curtis Beard to the show here on Weekend at Gabe's.
Yay!
Hello.
Hello.
Good,
What's up?
good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm so glad that you could find time for us, man. I'm super excited. I've been excited all day to talk with you because
Oh,
I didn't know about you until yesterday evening, and I am absolutely in love with everything that you're doing. So
thanks.
I know you have already hundreds of thousands of followers. So you picked one up over the last 24 hours of me. But I want to.
Thank you. Thank you for following.
But I wanted to start from the beginning. You've spoken about this in plenty of interviews, but I wanted to go back a little bit. You're from Lincoln, Nebraska, and
uh,
we're kind of joking in our pre-production meeting as we can count on the number of artists out of Lincoln, Nebraska, who have been
yeah,
born there.
yeah. No, it's not. I mean, like the music scene there is cool. I don't think there's a lot of people that come out of there though. Really, yeah. No, it's not. It's not really like that, unfortunately.
What
Yeah, I could probably count the number of artists on my hand too.
I think like Lincoln, Nebraska, or Nebraska itself has like a population of maybe 100,000 people. I could be exaggerating or under.
Yeah, that's a bit hyperbolic. The the population of Nebraska is like roughly 1.5 million people total, and then like
Got it.
Lincoln, where the city I'm from, is like 300,000 people. So it's like the biggest a small town can get without being big. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What was that experience like? Because you've spoken about growing up in the church and how your first music experiences that were church music or interpretations of church music, like Brian McKnight doing records and doing church records, and how that being your sort of catalyst and your foundation for your introduction to music. But we don't really hear a lot of like sort of the church element in your records. But what we do hear is a lot of honesty and self-reflection and sort of messaging that is in your record. So do you use any of that sort of early influence into crafting your records, or are there elements that you do try to utilize or depend on or lean into?
Absolutely. And real quick, I just saw Mike in the chat. What's up, Mike and Monica? Some friends of mine are just joined us to watch this. That's really cool. What's up, guys? Yeah. So, born and raised in the church. As soon as I came into the world, I was at the church basically. And it's so interesting that you say you don't hear the influence because I get that all the time.
Hmm.
That influence is there and so prevalent. I love like the use of harmony and vocals. I love working with like choirs. I love like stacking
Yes.
harmonies that are just unnecessarily large. You know what I'm saying? And I still like stick with that to this day. I'm in love with harmony and like orchestrating, and I feel like I got a lot of that
Sure.
influence from being in the church. You know what I'm saying? And being like at choir practices every Saturday, and back in that church every Sunday. I just
Right.
it's totally shaped who I am. I don't think I maybe I'd still be in love with music, but I don't know. I just feel like it's the driving force of like who I am and like my music passion. It's just being raised around music from like as far as I can remember, and taking those gospel influences. Like, gospel music is really good, by the way. If you haven't really listened to it, gospel music is really, really insanely good. And growing up with those influences, like Brian McKnight, who's not really a gospel artist, but like does gospel albums, and
Sure.
like Fred Hammond and Jay Moss and like the Winans and like these like records that are just gospel records that are just so good, and like are rich in music theory, just really cool. It's just very influential, and I still feel like I carry those today. But it's very interesting to
Yeah.
hear that you say that you don't hear them in that. That's so interesting. That might mean I have kind of branched into a new sound, which is also really exciting.
I do hear the influence. Like now that you're saying it, like it makes sense. But okay, I have a question.
What's up?
Because I was like stalking you. I mean,
Oh,
I always watch your things, but now I
hmm.
went deep. So I see that you post like a lot about like your mental health, and like I mean, you even like make songs out of like just like
Right.
negative comments. Like, how did you start feeling like just like comfortable with like sharing like how you felt, or even like just getting ideas of like songs?
Yeah. Well, I mean, music is therapeutic, right? Music is an outlet. So like sharing how I feel is almost second nature to me. I did poetry, so I kind of learned how to like process my emotions and write them down. And I've just been getting better at that the more I do music. Lord bless. So I never ever had a problem like sharing how I felt if it was through art. The really hard part is when you can just like talk and say words, right? Like, hey, this is how I feel without it rhyming. What? That's so insane. Like, who can do that? That's so weird to me. So I was always the
Yeah.
guy who was like able to like write about how I felt. And like when I shared it, it was therapeutic, it was super therapeutic to me. It makes me feel better. And like knowing that other people can relate to how I'm feeling, um, knowing how that other people can relate to how I'm feeling and like makes them feel less alone. That's like my purpose. Like that's what I want from music. I want people to feel less alone. I want people to feel like they got people in their corner. I want like, especially with rap music, there's a lot of black people who aren't, you know, like don't fit the grain, right? They might be from Nebraska and they're like a little outcast and like different.
Sure.
And you know what I'm saying? So like I want to speak for those people and I want that them to feel less alone, the world to feel a little smaller when they listen to my
Yeah.
songs. Pardon me for one second. I'm gonna turn off my fan.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Hey.
I wanted to ask about your embrace of the word weird. You have this chant that you do, hands in weird kids on three. And we saw that in the documentary, the mini doc that you put out recently, and then you spoken about this, and even on your most recent record, um, the Nails Mint Green, you also talk about like how she wouldn't want me because I'm green, like I'm weird. But
Yeah.
like what like and I've spoken with students, and people embrace the word weird as not as some sort of any negative connotation. But why do you embrace the word weird?
Yeah, weird is like not really a negative meaning anymore. I think
Sure.
just to me, I mean, I feel like weird just embodies your originality. Like if you don't really care about, what others do or how others do things and you just kind of do things your own way, that's weird. Like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is just being weird. Cause it's like, you know, there's always like so many things with this music industry, especially if you want to rap. You have to dress a certain way, you have to sound a certain way, you have to have these certain bars. But if you're just like, I'm doing this because I think it's cool. I watch anime and drink Chardonnay because I think it's freaking cool and it's a great time. And I'm just proud of those facts. And I
Right.
am myself unapologetically. That's like just to me, that means being weird. And that's just embracing who you are. So I feel like, obviously there's weird, like, I don't know, sharpen pencils and then sniff the pencil shreds. Like that's probably just like
Odd.
dangerous weird,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
great, maybe odd, but like I just feel like embracing who you are, that's just as simple as it could be for being weird, and that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
And I
I
feel
agree.
like that's what makes you different. You know what I mean? Like it just makes you different, and I don't know. That's
Thank
why I
you.
like
No,
your music, and like yeah, because it's different from what we are like usually like used to, or like rap or hip hop. Like it's different. Like your content is just like different, and that's why people like it. I like it. It's like
thank you so
entertaining
much.
and really really good.
Yeah, thank you. And I feel like the crazy thing is that it actually isn't that uncommon. I feel like everybody is like this. I feel like there's a lot of kids that are like me out there. And I just think that, in the music industry, like especially mainstream, like there's just not really good representation of it. It's a lot of
Right.
underground music.
Mhm.
And, I feel like a wave is coming, especially with TikTok. Like there's just a huge wave of people that are like, hey, this is who I am. This is cool. And people are like, that is cool. We're gonna jump behind that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we can kind of start representing ourselves now. But I feel like there's a huge lack of that, but it's definitely common, and there's definitely a ton of other people that are like me.
What is about, because you were killing it on Vine before Vine decided
How do you
to
know
disappear.
that?
We know everything on the
He
show.
knows everything.
We
Hey,
know everything
what?
on the show. And then you just rebuilt yourself on TikTok. But what is it about? What is it about these platforms that, with this short amount of time to be so creative? What kind of creativity does that allow you to do, and how do you design what you're going to do beforehand? Because you want to like make it digestible but also enjoyable. But you also looks like you put a lot of time into like 60 seconds.
Like there's a lot happening in all your TikToks, like a
I
lot.
mean, you have thousands of them.
Gabe, how did you find the Vine thing? What was that? Is that still around? I thought I took those down. Those aren't all great. Okay, fine.
Listen. The internet is in pen, my friends. It's not in pencil.
It's so easy to find, probably. Oh my god. Um, People wouldn't like know to find that unless they like knew about it though. So that's the weird thing. Like whatever. Anyways, yeah, Vine was cool, man. I miss that
Oh yeah,
because
mine was amazing.
I didn't even use it to promote music, which is the crazy thing. I just like was a teenager and we just did dumb stuff. Like it was just stupid, like dumb humor. And then we like got a following from that. And so by the time TikTok, was like kind of like the pandemic was just starting and all of it like huge wave of people are starting to get on it. And it was the last week of March and I was like, yeah, this is a lot like Vine. I think I'm gonna give it a try. And I'd already been like 2 years late at that point, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just give it a try and see what happens. And then something came of it. I just like I don't know. I feel like before TikTok, like Instagram, you like couldn't go anywhere unless you were like super hot. And then like Twitter, you just had to be very funny or something like that. And I'm
Right.
like kind of neither. So you know what? Actually, I look good. I look good. I can't lie.
No,
Whatever.
yeah,
No, I'm saying, no, I'm playing. But yeah. So like those platforms just seem like a dead end to me.
yeah,
And that's just not like a great way of like sharing, like what I can do fully. And I feel like TikTok was just like it is just great because it's non-committal, right? Like I can make a 30-second song and then be done with it and move on to something else, which is really
right.
good. Which is like sometimes what you have to do as an artist, because I feel like artists hold on to things so much, and they're like, okay, I have to hold tightly to this song and it has to be perfect. But if you get into the practice of being like, this is what it is, and here it is to the world, you'll
Mhm.
be very surprised with the reception you get. Sometimes it's pretty cool. So yeah, I love being able to like use video sharing platforms like these non-committal short videos to share my talent with the world. It works really well.
Absolutely.
Where did that like oh my came from?
Oh,
'Cause it's everywhere.
my ad lib. You see what I did there? Oh, my ad lib. Never mind. I told you I'm not. I told you I'm not funny. But
You are.
y'all have me on here anyways. This is your fault, and you're gonna have to deal with the consequences now. Okay, so my ad lib. I was just listening to like Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa and Kanye because I was like so into Chicago rap. I just moved to Chicago, and Kanye was like, "Huh," and then Chance was like, all right, I could do it better, but it's so loud. And then Vic Mensa was like internet because he had the internet tape. And I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? In order to be a serious rapper, I need an ad lib. I need an ad lib right now. Yeah. And then I wish I can't remember how I came up with it, but I know I really wish I remember because I always get this question, but the best I can do is like I was just throwing ad libs out at the end of my verses to see if they stuck. And oh my just kind of like came back around all the time. And by the time I was getting to TikTok, people started pointing it out in the comments, and I was like, we're gonna lean into that just really heavy because that's just gonna make sense. I have a couple more that people don't ever really actually hear or notice, but it's in my music all the time. That I do frequently. I call them like Charlie-risms, right? Charlie-risms. I gotta figure out a better word for that. But yeah, it's just like these little antics, man. Just little antics that I throw in my songs to make it sound more like Charlie. I'd be like, hit it with me one time, like, or I'd be like, all right, oh my, just stupid stuff like that. Just to give my song some character, so people know that I'm about to hop on the mic and and rap something about your mom, or I don't know. Sorry. All right, moving on.
Well, what I wanted to hit on that. That was one of the questions I had prepared was your time here in Chicago at Columbia College Chicago. What was, because you were a fan of the artist from the city before you landed here. So
Big time.
how did the music and engulfing the culture, how did that seep into the records? Did we hear that in the Paradise EP?
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, the Rain in Pasadena one,
Pasadena,
or
my apologies. Yeah,
no, it's
right,
okay. No, you're good. Yeah, absolutely. I think man, being in Chicago from like 2014 to 20 like 19, which is when I was there, but like I bet from like 2012 to like 2020, just like amazing time for like music right there. Not that it's still
sure,
not there right now. It's just that like, yo, the artists just were like coming up. You just couldn't get away from like, it was like, okay, cool, No Name, whose record's sitting right behind me actually. No
right,
Name, Asmino Saba, Tokyo, Joey
right.
Purb, Vic Mensa, okay, Chance the Rapper. Like they're just all these names that were just like coming up at the same time, and like that music industry was just so explosive and really cool. And I just wanted to be a part of it so badly. And I just went to all the shows, and they just like it kind of like influenced my sound. I just in ways like just like lyrically, sound wise. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Um, but yeah, they just influenced everything about me, and I just
Sure.
still kind of try to take that Chicago sound and put it in my music today. We love the live instrumentation. We love the cool lush chords in our rap songs with hard beats. Um, we love the fast tracks that make you want to dance, like the house tracks too. Just all Chicago kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, question. So, what would you tell someone that's like about to be done with school, like me? Like, what's your, I don't know, like, what would you tell me?
What advice do you have?
Yeah, like, what advice would you have for me?
School is about to end, and that means that you might have some more free time not doing papers anymore and essays and stuff. And I feel like, now's the time to put your head down and start doing it for real, because like school is a great environment to like get all the tools necessary. Now it's time to learn how to apply it. Which can take a while. So like be patient. It's all good. But like I guarantee that like if you put in the work and you keep moving forward, like life after school is so much better than life in school, because I can still do music full time, and now I don't have to write essays or turn in oh my god, turn in homework. Oh my god, theory
Yeah.
homework, or like study for oral skills exam. You know what I'm saying? Which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's like easy or anything like that. I love being in a social setting that school like provides, but all this stuff is still doable. You just got to put in the work now. You got to apply yourself. Use the time that you're not studying anymore to just actually be working on your craft. Use the
Right.
time spent other than like seeing your friends all the time, to be in the studio or like build friendships inside the studio. Replace that social setting with like, sorry, my Invisalign makes me have a lisp sometimes now, but whatever. Anyways, replace that setting with like a new setting that is still productive towards your career, because you will find yourself with a lot more free time than you think. And even if you have to work a job, at least like that's on a schedule. At least you have set
Mhm.
times where it's like, this is where I work, this is when I need to be doing music, and this is when I need to be doing that. Because a lot of people had college and work, and so if college goes away, it's just work. Now you can fill that stuff with music. So I think the best thing to do is just substitute a lot of that free time with just really hammering the music out and just like getting it to a place where you can make it lucrative and just make it happen. It's all on you though. No one's gonna make it happen for you. You gotta do this yourself. You gotta make other people believe in you.
Absolutely. Before we get out of here, a couple quick questions. One, you have all these ads on your TikTok that you've recorded videos for. We have hotels.com, NBA, Ruffles, the Cartoon Network. How does that happen? Do you record these things and hope they see them, or do you already have deals in place with these companies?
Yeah, a little bit of both, maybe. I started out by doing this series on TikTok where I was like, going to turn jingles into rap songs. And that got me a little bit of attention at first, to like from like, I don't know, things like Oatly and hotels.com. And then once they were like, okay, Charlie, we're going to hire you to do ads for us. Once that resume started, it was a lot easier to get those calls. But yeah, I'm always usually hired to make those ads for them. Which is great for both parties because they get someone to use their platform for a lot less money than a commercial maybe, and then like I get to do these ads with these brand deals and these companies, and it's good experience for me, and like it's just good like for everybody involved usually. And yeah, it's at the point now where since I have a decent enough following and I have the resume for it, like they usually can come to us now, and that's just usually how it happens. I have a whole management team that's like strictly for social media, so they kind of can get those calls and put them where they need to be and like place me in the right rooms and the right sessions for that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Cool.
We have a couple fun questions. This is from our other intern, our other super intern. She said she knows that in your TikTok you rap over trends. Is it more fun to rap over a new or an old nostalgic trend like the Backyardigans or something like that?
Dude, that's awesome. I love the Backyardigans trend. Oh, they're so cool. Yeah, I do. I try to rap over trends. I have this like thing where I just like specific. I love it. But I try to rap over trends because like it's a great way to like like put your take on something, stay relevant in the social media sphere and stuff like that. I some trends I like less than others. And sometimes I do trends specifically because I'm like, all right, this is gonna be good for the page. But the Backyardigans one, I will do that a million times. That one was so dope, dude. I love all the Backyardigans songs. They're really great. Super Spy? Are you kidding me? That song slaps, man. That song slaps. You can't tell me differently. You can't tell me that it doesn't. Super Spy goes hard. Okay. Okay.
All right, I'll
Just
take your
to
word for
clarify.
it. All right, and last one I got in the mini doc. We were talking about this in news that the Super Mario Brothers movie is delayed until next spring. I'm heartbroken about it. Alonza is indifferent about it. But we noticed that you're playing Smash Brothers in the mini doc. What's your go-to character on Smash Brothers?
Ness. Let's see if I have him. I do not have Ness right now on my phone. He's usually my screensaver, but Ness. Ness. I will beat anybody in Smash Bros with Ness. Try me. I'm so serious. Add me on Instagram. We will exchange Switch info, and I will kick your butt in Smash Bros with Ness. You will not be able to. You will not
I,
be able to win.
I would like to try, so I will be
I,
sending over my Switch
do it.
info. We can run
I
it
would
up.
I would like to try too. I mean,
You can try, man. I take this so seriously. I'm like the guy who like ruins the party because I'm taking Smash too seriously. Probably. I love that game. I've been playing it since I was a kid. That game is great. It's my favorite game of all time. So yeah.
Absolutely.
The Mario movie is delayed. That's a little bit of a bummer, but
Yeah, it is.
I need more Sonic movies. That's what I need, man.
I guess I haven't seen Sonic 2 yet. I like the first one though. I was
Oh,
surprisingly pleased with the first one.
oh, Sonic 2 is so good. It's so good. It's ridiculously good.
All right,
Ridiculously good. You gotta see
I
it.
got
You gotta see it.
we're gonna I gotta check it out. Charlie Curtis Beard, thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Weekend at Games. We appreciate you giving us your time and sharing some great insight and also a little bit of your backstory.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I
thank
appreciate it so much.
you.
I hope I was rambling too much. I appreciate you guys
Perfect.
having me. Thank you everybody for watching me. Don't don't sniff pencil shavings. Don't do that. It's gonna hurt your nose. Yeah, so stay away from those. Say no to pencil shavings. And with that, that is all I got.
That's it. That's a great note to end on. Thank you for that PSA. We appreciate that.
A good advice.
All right, Charlie Curtis Beard here on Weekend at Gabe's tonight, and that's going to close us out.
Thank you for watching the latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's on YouTube, brought to you by the Ghetto Flower. Make sure to also click on the links in the description for more information to our guests and access to exclusive new music from the Ghetto Flower and so much more. Make sure to also like and subscribe to the show, and also continue to share, support, and show love by clicking on any of the links surrounding my head. Thanks for watching.